All right, yo, peace, peace. Can you all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Just put like 11 in the chat box if you can hear me. Check one, check two. Can you hear me? Peace, peace. Just put like an 11 in the chat box if you can hear me so I can get started. Might be a slight delay. So if you can hear me, put 11 in the chat box. All right, when I get a confirmation, I'll go ahead and go in. Check, check. Can you hear me? All right, cool, peace. All right, welcome everyone. It's been about 10 days since my last live broadcast, so I apologize for not getting one in last week, but I got a good one for you today. Last time I spoke about why you may be drawn to so many different spiritual paths. This broadcast is similar to that, called "Are You a Freestyle Spiritualist?" or "A Freestyle Spiritualist" is a phrase I coined. I want to say probably about a year ago, for real. But I've never made a YouTube, I've never made a show, never written an article, never dedicated something specifically for people that are what I call freestyle spiritualists. Something that I just pulled out of the thin air, was like, "Ooh, that sounds good." For real, it best described me on the characteristics of people that may be a freestyle spiritualist. It may resonate with you as well. I want to start out by saying that there's no right path, right system, discipline per se, that everything is about what is best for you. You hear me speak a lot more about being very self-aware, high levels of self-awareness. The more aware you are of yourself, what makes you different, what makes you unique, what are your desires, what are your wants, what best fits you, levels of self-awareness. And what I see are people doing paths and doing things that don't mesh with them. That's the opposite of self-awareness, is when you're conforming, when you're doing things that you're told that you should be doing, as opposed to doing what's on your heart. So like I said, after this video, it's going to be a lot of light bulbs going off. Listening, watching this, are going to be like, man, he's describing me. Because I'm not unique as far as being a freestyle spiritualist. I know there's a lot of people. That's why a lot of people resonate with me, because I'm a quote unquote freestyle spiritualist. To work like on my broadcast, I like to lay out the information first, then I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions, and I like to keep it pertinent to the topic at hand so we're not all over the place. So I'll lay down the information, then after that, if you have any questions, you can feel free to post it. Anything you want to share or whatever, you can do so at that point. I'll ask you not to ask me questions now, because the way this thing goes, the questions be ridiculous, and I'm not going back because the chat goes kind of fast or whatever. So I'll ask you to hold your questions till the end. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Freestyle spiritualist, man. I'm known for a while, probably ever since I started my path, I was what I call a freestyle spiritualist. And there's about seven main characteristics that I see like this. If you see yourself in probably four of them, more than likely this title called freestyle spiritualist. So the first thing, you're a non-conformist. Freestyle spiritualists are non-conformists. What do I mean by that? You can have a discipline, you can have just a friend, and they may be doing something. And if you're not totally aware that you're a freestyle spiritualist, you may find yourself always doing the opposite of what you're taught. Or if everybody's going right, you may intentionally go left just not to be with the crowd. You know, I was a nonconformist before I got into spirituality and metaphysics. So it was in my nature to never really follow the crowd. But after I got into spirituality and metaphysics, I realized that a lot of people are grouped together and they're kind of all doing the same thing. Once again, if that's your path, oh, I'm speaking to people that don't fit in that motif. a group and they're like, man, I just don't like the feeling of this. Like everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's following one person. Everybody has the same thing. Everybody say the same thing. Everybody dress similar. Spiritualists do not really mesh well in that kind of environment. So the first characteristic is non-conformity. Like you go out of your way not to fit in with the in crowd, so to speak. A personal share is even more relatable and for me to be a little bit more personable. Many people know about Dr. Gibson, Master Gibson or whatever, Tybro.com. And he put out a challenge to have people make the sun blink. You know, he's big on solar work. That's how I learned about connecting with the sun gazing. I made videos talking about that. You can go back on my YouTube channel and see it. But when he was starting to do that, there was a lot of people jumping on board, connecting with the sun, and they were getting a reaction from the sun where the sun was blinking. Their consciousness is connected with that particular vessel, being the sun. And I seen it. It was beautiful and everything, but because everybody was trying to do it, part of me that was like, man, I didn't want to do it because everyone else is doing it. I end up doing it because my spirit told me that I needed to do it. Spiritualist, because a group is doing something, we're not moved by that. But when our spirit tells us to do something, then we're moved. This is very important because a lot of you are resisting things that you want to do, fit in, or you don't want to be with the crowd. Instead of really being spiritual, because you follow your spirit. Sometimes your spirit will even lead you to a group. You're not a freestyle spiritualist, or you're not unique on your path. Other characteristic of freestyle spiritualists is leadership qualities. Not conforming and doing what everyone else is doing, and you're kind of doing your own thing. What happens is people will follow you. If you look at everything that's been created in our world, in our society, inventions or new way of doing things, it took a non-conformist to do that because we wouldn't have new things if people weren't doing new things. Everybody was doing what the groups were doing. No new revelations, no new systems, no new anything, because everything is already laid out for you. Have a lot of leadership qualities because they dare to go against the grain. The thing is, like, there's no such thing as a grain. How can I go against the grain if the grain doesn't exist? You know? So when you start to do your own thing, people catch note of that. Thing called 100 monkey syndrome, or monkey see, monkey do. See someone else doing something and they feel like they can do it. A perfect example of this, and kind of a mundane example, is when the first person ran the mile under 4 minutes and did it, other people thought they could do it. And then what happened was a lot more people started to run the mile under 4 minutes. You know, that's a simple example how when someone does something, other people kind of follow suit. So leadership qualities, another characteristic of freestyle spiritualists. Is a freestyle spiritualist may have many interests. In last video, I talked about the different spiritual paths, that some souls have a lot of different interests. Like they want to study herbs all day and all night. Or they may not want to study crystals or play with crystals all day and all night. Freestyle spiritualists, more than likely, they're going to have many interests. They be on numerology hard body like myself. Or they may go into altar work hard body like myself. To enlightenment or paths of enlightenment. Or they may go into meditation or scrying or different areas, different subjects. Many interests, and they're all over the place. From a numerology standpoint, it's kind of like the 5 energy. When you look at the number 5, it sits directly in the middle of the counting. 4 numbers before it, 4 numbers after it, 5 sits right in the middle. 5 would have been open at the top and open on the bottom, looks like it's going both ways. The 5 can have many interests with the freestyle spiritualist. 1 minute it might be hard body on one thing, next minute it might be hard body on another thing. Once again, knowing yourself, high levels of self-awareness, you may know that study or practice the same thing day in and day out, you know, because you may be a freestyle spiritualist. Was all the things I went hard body studying, Now at this point, I'm able to extrapolate information from various different subjects and walks of life and kind of make it my own. Style spiritualism. That is innovation. Because you kind of do your own thing, because you don't follow the group, because you study many subjects and do many things, you also find ways that fit you and you start to adjust things to yourself. So let me use an example. As far as it relates to me, numerology is an old science. Studying numerology, I started seeing different ways on how to use numbers. The numbers spoke to me differently. And I always said, especially when I first started studying numerology, it's like I was studying the numbers, studying me, you see? So with that, I learned different ways of how to do numerology. That's what innovation is. Innovation is when you take something and you twist it and you put your own spin on it. Numerology became Tahuti numerology, or Tahuti Numi for short. You know, shout out to everybody that's taken a Tahuti numerology course. That course is taught, numerology is taught in a different way than what is traditionally being taught. That's innovation. Taking something, putting your own spin on it and making it your own. All right. Another characteristic of being a freestyle spiritualist, you're not married in theories, not married to ideals and theories. So any philosophy, ideal, and theory, and when I say that, I'm talking about things you cannot prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's real. Things you cannot prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's real. You know, a lot of spiritual people like to throw stones at Christians, being like, you believe in Jesus, he's fake. You may believe in deities that other people may say are fake. So who's right and who's wrong? It's kind of philosophical. It's kind of a belief system. Until you have your personal encounter with a deity, what you're doing is relying on hearsay. It's just a belief or whatever, you know? So what freestyle spiritualists, we're not married to ideals and beliefs. Until it's real in our reality, until we experience it, minded. That's another way of putting it. We're just open-minded. It is, but it ain't. It could be, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'm not married to it. And here's the plus degree. Because you're not married to ideals and thoughts, if a new ideal comes, you can accept that as something as your own. A lot of people on the spiritual path, you get so stuck on beliefs and you marry these ideologies that even if you don't really believe it to be true, that's the way you should live or whatever. A freestyle spiritualism. A freestyle spiritualist is not married to ideals. Our ideals about things can change as we evolve. In the same way that you're thinking a year ago, then you haven't grown and evolved. On the things that may not serve you. Some things fit, you wear it and try it on, you wear it until it's worn out. Some things don't fit, you take it off and put it back in a closet. A freestyle spiritualist, we're very adept at taking things off and putting things on as it fits. Another thing also is not being attached to labels. Freestyle spiritualists do not really vibe with labels. Understand that we're using English, so we have to describe things to articulate and talk about it. But at the heart of us freestyle spiritualists, we really don't vibe with labels. That's very limiting. They even say I'm a freestyle spiritualist is even limiting. To say I'm on a spiritual path is limiting. To say that I study metaphysics is limiting because it's words. To say what I am shows what I'm not. To say what I am shows what I'm not. It sounds like I'm talking in riddles and parables because that's what a freestyle spiritual is. It's a paradox. The way someone describes you, you can adopt that. You can wear it like a badge of honor. Or you can let people have their opinion. Opinions, they're going to cast all kinds of labels on you. Religious, he's spiritual. This brother believes in deities, he don't believe in Jesus or whatever. Labels on you and freestyle spiritualism, we get we don't like it. At first, it was hard to kind of label myself. So I'm a spiritual teacher, I'm a metaphysician, I'm an occultist, I'm all these different things. I'm just using them and consciously using them, knowing that none of them describe me. To this day, I will call myself a spiritual teacher, but I really don't believe I'm a spiritual teacher. But in our reality, you can't just go around saying I'm a being. You can label themselves whatever, or a freestyle spiritualist can label themselves whatever, but for real, if you ask them, they don't believe there are any of those things. The science of that. And lastly, freestyle spiritualists mostly challenge tradition, man. Traditions. We look at the things that people have accepted and adopted so thousands of years ago, and we look and be like, why are you following this to a T? You know, once again, if that's your path, do you. I'm speaking to people that it don't vibe with. I have to keep repeating that because people don't hear the whole lecture in its context, and it'll take a little snippet and think I'm throwing stones at people. Stones, once again, you have to follow your path. I'm speaking to people that don't see a clear defined path for them because they're freestyle spiritualists, meaning that they'll take one path 1 minute and then jump on another path or whatever. So with that, we question traditions. Our favorite question is why? Why are you studying that? Why are you doing that? Why are you meditating that way? Why are you giving your altar that way? Why do you place your altar there? Why are you putting that offer on it? We're questioning everything that don't make sense to us. With humans are very gullible. They can be led astray, for real. We see it all day. I ain't gotta tell you are led astray. And that's because they don't have a high level of discernment where they question things. They just go along with the crowd or whatever. Versus we question things because we don't want to be led astray, so to speak. So we know that the old traditions may have worked in the old ways, but going along with the innovation, we'll take something old and put a new spin on it into modern day. A perfect example of this is like texts like the Tao Te Ching, even the Kabbalion with the universal laws, a lot of mythologies, the Mahabharata, and all these different mythologies and stuff like that, thousands of years ago. They were part of an ancient tradition. So what freestyle spiritualists, yeah, we'll read the text, we'll look at it and stuff like that, context on it. And we'll also challenge, is that relevant today? You know what I'm saying? And once again, as spiritual people, you'll do this with the Bible, but you may not question, especially if it's quote unquote spiritual. We'll look at that as a little bit more pure. But for real, we're in a whole new day and age. I've been talking about the new look of spirituality. Spirituality doesn't have a dashiki on now. Could be on YouTube with a t-shirt and a ball cap on, talking about spirituality. Spirituality can have their pants sagging. Spirituality can be cursing. Spirituality has a whole new different look on it because we're in 2017. We're in a modern time. We're on brink of entering the golden age. Systems are falling. Most people know this. Hold on to certain traditions. Once again, if that holding on to tradition is helping you path, then you're doing what you came here to do. So pay me no mind. But if you are looking at these old traditions and you like, man, I don't see how this is relevant to me now, you to question that. Why did the Creator give us discernment? Why did our Creator made a built-in mechanism where we question things? This to be true because everybody that has children question you, man. Go clean your room. Why? Why do I gotta clean my room? Why do I gotta make my bed? I'm gonna make my bed and just mess it up again. Children question everything. When do they stop questioning things? Don't question me. Just do what I say. Just do what I say. I'm dropping a jewel. Because this mentality trickles over to the school system, that I'm not questioning anything. I'm just going to do what I'm told. If you have free will and a Creator allowed you to come to earth, then I don't believe you have to ask man for anything. You see? So that's what it is. Once again, to lay it down, 7 characteristics of someone that may be a freestyle spiritualist: non-conformity, leadership qualities, interests, innovative, meaning you take things and you make it your own, not married to ideals and theories, not attached to labels, really don't vibe with labels, don't need to be challenges traditions, meaning that the way things used to be, will question. You will be like, that's in the past, that's the way it used to be, traditions or whatever. Also, I'll put a summary on the website, slemyers.com. For these videos, what I've been doing is putting a summary along with some written words and stuff, video on there. So if you want a summary of this video, go to slemyers.com and click on content. Few quick announcements before I get into any questions, and don't post your questions right now. But a couple things, if you're not familiar with my new format as far as the classes I'm doing a masterclass every 2 weeks. And a masterclass is a webinar, but it's highly affordable, and it's not just regurgitated information. Information I've written about, information I've done on YouTube, whatever the subject matter is, once you leave that webinar, you'll be equipped to get it in for whatever that particular subject is. The first masterclass was psychic development. Shout out to everybody that was in attendance. And from that, I taught everything that I've done to this point to increase my intuition, the practices, the mentality, the supplements, the crystals, the meditations, just various things I've done to increase my intuition to the point where I'm at now. Also, you can get the recording if you go to slemyers.com, click on shop. The recordings of the masterclass are available for purchase as well. But I highly suggest, if you want to participate, that you go live. I assure you, is another jewel magic for people that's on their altar game hard body, and you really want to know all my secrets, my hidden jewels, things I haven't disseminated to the public. In that masterclass, I'm going to share everything I've done to increase my altar power. I call it altar magic. It's how to program your reality. You can program your reality through altars. This is prosperity, love, abundance, whatever you want. You can program it through your altar if you know how to set it up properly, activate it, so to speak. During that masterclass, the altar magic masterclass, I would teach everything that I've done in order to get my altar to a point where it puts in work. You know, I share a little jewel. Is once you get your altar to a certain state, you can do what I call a petition to the gods and ancestors. A petition is something that you put in a letter express mail. Most people send their letters through USPS, and it's like slower. But when you activate your altar, you can send mail through the spirit through what I call express mail. It gets there a lot quicker. Well, there's a way you can do that. During that masterclass, I'm going to teach that or whatever. So if you're interested, slemyers.com, click on masterclass. It will, the next one is a little bit over 2 weeks. Very affordable, $27. You'll get that back very quickly. So once again, slemyers.com, click on masterclass. Also, my main flagship program now, and I introduced this on June the 10th, and we already have like a good amount of people that's already signed up and joined. And if you haven't heard about it, it's called Mastery Accelerator Program. It ties right to Freestyle Spiritualist, because there's no program that I know of, no group that I know of, people being unique and people having their own path. What group or members or like system or anything do you know that people come together, all different walks of life, all different spiritual gifts that they have going on, but they can come together with a group that accepts them? Like, I don't know of any other spot. So if you're a freestyle spiritualist, or if you're a person that you're on the path, but you may be frustrated, lacking discipline, but you're serious about your spiritual work, other like-minded people, you want to be challenged, you want to be accountable, and you want to really grow because you're on the path to spiritual mastery. You're not a dabbler. You're not someone who needs somebody to hold your hand for all your life. You know that you came here to be I, self, law, and master, your own God. You want to be self-God realized, or you're already self-God realized, but you want to increase your power. That's who that program is for. It's not me telling you what to do, self what to do in a group holding you accountable in order for you to get it put in your work. That's what that program is about. Highly suggest, if you're interested in something like that, go to the website, sleMyers.com, and read everything. Don't just jump in because it's a low investment fee, because it is low. It's so low that I know people don't look at it like, man, how am I gonna get value out of this? Read everything on that page. Do not click join if you didn't read anything. 30-day money back guarantee. If it ain't for you, I'll give you your money back. It ain't that big. You see? So it's for who it's for. And I know it's powerful, and I know it's going to work, because one person signed up that I was like, anyone that you would think would join a group like this. It's a group of individuals who rock together. Whole different scenario. Something is you doing something within the group, and the group supporting what you came to do. Beautiful thing. So when I seen this person sign up who's an ultra non-conforming, I was like, yeah, we own to something. So I'm very much looking forward to working with the fam. Also, the numerology course, to Hootie Numi, starts in about 2 weeks. So that's a 4-week course, certified. So if you're interested in learning numerology from me, you definitely want to sign up for that. It's more of extensive, more hands-on. You click on classes, or classes and retreats, and you'll find out the information for that. Also, spiritual business starter workshop, another very extensive. It's 1 day, about 4 hours. I lay out everything you need to start and grow your spiritual business, or not start and grow, basically start your spiritual business. So that's it for the infomercials. Remember to like and all that stuff to make sure that you two know that this information is powerful. I appreciate everybody for joining me, everybody for coming in, rocking out and stuff on this early Tuesday. I know it's kind of early for a lot of people. What up, Mo? Mo Square, one of my favorite people in the world, one of my best friends, Maurice Hayes. MoProSystems.com. Definitely go holler at the God. The Masterclass, as someone who's done it. Yeah, that's another thing. If you took my Masterclass, go ahead and put it in. Let the film know how ill it was. That's what I'm saying. You're getting jewels that, especially for an affordable price, man, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Okay, so I went back a little bit. Let me see. Okay, I have to make my bed. Oh, y'all, yeah, over the bed making. That's real though. Children ain't gonna make their bed and stuff. They ain't gonna clean their room. They don't be like, why? Why do I have to do this or whatever? And the number one thing parents say is, don't question me, just do it. Who else does that sound like, yo? Sound just like Christians. Don't question God, just do it. Don't question the Bible, just read it. It's the same thing. That's what parents do to their children, you know? And I made a promise to myself when I got older. I was like, man, I'm not going to forget how it was to be a child. And to this day, I don't forget. I haven't forgot how it was to be a child. So I don't put that on my children. I tried something as my teacher and little bro. I'm just joking. I'm your little I am your little bro, but littler in age and physical age. I'm way bigger than you, bro. All right. Oh, dear peace, God. What up, doe? Oh, what's up, Dariel? Is that Dariel? What up, doe, bro? Matt, I missed this. You can go back into it's recorded. All right, any questions, y'all? Y'all have any questions pertaining to spiritual paths or freestyle spiritualists? Does anyone consider themselves a freestyle spiritualist after I lay this out? You consider yourself a freestyle spiritualist? All right, here we go. I took the psychic development class and it opened up a lot of information for me. I still go back to the file that was sent out. They're desperately seeking Susan. Thank you for that. Yeah, the Ultra Magic Masterclass. Yeah, you want to be a part of that. Precise, very easy to understand. Doesn't matter if you have an altar already or if you have an altar. The Bible never added up with me, even as a child. Doesn't. That's another characteristic of Freestyle Spiritualist. Like, man, these texts, these Bibles, all these things, man, you be like, that just don't mesh well with me, yo. On Mind Right Radio is I remember sitting in church and thinking like, man, it didn't resonate with me. I'm literally a child and I'm like, I'm making lifelong decisions like, okay, they tell me if I don't get baptized and saved, in order to get to heaven, I have to take the mark of the beast. That's what was taught in my church. I grew up Apostolic Pentecostal. I went to church from age 5, 15, probably 10 years. I went to church for a long time. And they said if you didn't get baptized and saved, you had to go to hell. And in order to go to heaven, you had to take the mark of the beast. I remember, literally, no joke, fam. I remember being single-digit age and making life decisions like, well, I'm not getting baptized. I'm not getting saved. I'll just take the mark of the beast. I remember sitting in church like, it don't make sense to me to get baptized. Don't make sense to me to get saved. I'd rather go to hell, take the mark of the beast. It might sound crazy to you, but I'm dead serious. That's my thought process. Just didn't resonate with me. What up, Chris? What up, big bro? Always. What up, Pickett? Katrina, hello. I will rewatch. Thank you. You're quite welcome, sweetheart. Eddie, peace, bro. Nadi, Nakisha Nadi, how you doing, sweetheart? Shout out to your king. All right, I think I got some questions now. We love you, Ali. Oh, you speaking for everybody? You might just love me. Everybody else might hate me too, sweetheart, or gentlemen. Gaddy Tracks. Here's the thing too about being a freestyle spiritualist. People call me everything from Master Ali to idiot. I get it all. From Master Ali to idiot. Who's right, who's wrong? Label. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know, and that's the whole thing about being on the path to spiritual mastery. And I say it's a path because it's not a destination. He's saying that I know I'm my own guru. I know I'm my own master. I see the God within myself. Yes, there are other masters. Yes, I may have a teacher. Yes, I may be connected to deities. But I see all that within myself because I'm on the path to mastery. Just being on a path. It's the way of making your mentality like, man, I'm really accountable for this thing. It's a certain way things come to you once you take full accountability. People still doing is they blaming their teacher or they're blaming somebody on YouTube giving them misinformation or they're blaming a book. They're blaming all these things for why they're not growing spiritually. Take the mentality as I'm on a path to spiritual mastery, self-accountable. It'll make you more dedicated. It'll make you more motivated. It'll make you look deeper within yourself. That's ultimately why I came here to do is have people look deeper within themselves. The way you're really going to grow. I don't care what anyone tells you, enlightenment through a book, and you're not going to reach enlightenment through watching videos. Enlightenment comes when you turn all the external things off and you go deeper within yourself. For years, ever since you woke up on the path, people have been telling you. But until you do it, you're just going to hear it repeated and be like, man, I'm sick and tired of hearing that. You're going to hear it until you do it. I find this path to be a lonely one. It's hard to connect with people who have the same views. That's the whole thing. It's supposed to be a lonely path. Danielle, hi, sweetheart. How you doing? To the Soul Glow fam. Freestyle. All right, what you talking about, Chris? Some questions. See, now y'all got them. Now y'all got them coming through. Our freestyle spiritualists create their own rules, and we don't feel bad for not following other rules. Facts. You already know. Ali, what's your opinion of casual sex on the spiritual path? Very excellent question. Especially anything that you're two people are coming together as one, energetic exchange. Now, this energetic exchange is more, the female is going to feel it more because the female by nature is more receptive, which is internal. A man has a penis, which is external. So a man goes into a female and it's like putting energy into a female. On a plus degree, kind of, sort of, why a lot of women, when they start to deal with certain men, they start to go, I don't want to say crazy, but act differently than what they're used to. A lot of the characteristics of that man. It works the same way as well, but since females are more receptive, they're going to take in a lot more energy. They're more magnetic. So with that, I would say just obviously be careful who you let enter your womb. Having unprotected sex, quote unquote, or sex without a condom, where fluids are being exchanged. Fluids, it builds a cord. And Mother Gibson, the Sharia, calls it a nadi. A nadi is an etheric cord that connects human beings. If you notice, when you're dealing with somebody and you may not be dealing with them anymore, it could be a sexual relationship, or it could be a more monogamous relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, man and wife. Usually when you're separated from that person or you're no longer committed to them, a lot of times you'll have dreams about them. Still carrying on a relationship in the higher worlds, or in the third dimension, or the fourth dimensions, or even a second dimension, astral realms and higher on. You're still carrying on a relationship with that person. So you may start to see them in dreams, things with them in dreams, because there's a connection with them still. That's why a lot of people get what's called cord cutting. When they can't get over a particular person, they get into something called cord cutting or whatever. So what's my opinion on casual sex on the spiritual path? For anything, I'm not against anything. I would just say you have to have high levels of discernment on who you're letting enter your womb. Women, high levels of discernment on who you're gonna stick your thing in. You feel me? People constantly try to tell me that too. Or you say that. What are your thoughts on how could alcohol and drugs and its effects on someone? Great question. Alcohol and drugs they're obviously both drugs. To sit here and say that weed isn't a drug, like, somebody be lying, man. A drug is anything that you extract, you take it from its original state, you concentrate it, and usually you put fire to it. So most drugs, you notice how you have to smoke it or put some sort of fire to it or whatever, or it's extracted from something like cocaine from the coca leaves or whatever. But if it was just this leaf, you know what I'm saying? But when you start to extract it, when you start to do things to it, that's what makes it a drug. So alcohol, drugs, period, or whatever, like, that's where you're going to have to know how you're built. This, like, when I was in college, I'm a proud college dropout, went to college for 1 year, played football mostly, more than going to classes. But like, when I was in college, I experimented with certain things more than weed or whatever. I'm not going to say what it was, but I never experienced. But I was doing it with other people, and they weren't having the same experience. Rewind and go a little bit past that, or further, or before that, before I went to college, people and stuff, and certain people were smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? And certain people weren't smoking weed. And there was somebody who said that the first and only time they smoked weed, they started tripping out, crazy and being paranoid. And it was like, I never touched it again. Where I've seen other people say they smoke weed and they get relaxed, or they get into a creative zone where they start to create music or poetry or something like that. Then there are certain people who smoke weed that they go to work and they're functional. And there's certain people that smoke weed where they never have a job and they sit on the couch and play video games. I've known alcoholics who would drink before they went to work and drink while at work, then get drunk when they get off and do it over again. They're what we call functional alcohol or functioning alcoholics. So my point is, there's no right or wrong for any of this, because there are shamans in certain indigenous cultures where they might smoke some peyote or smoke some weed and get into a certain ritual. And there's certain spiritual systems where if you do any drugs, any alcohol, if you smoke, if you do anything, you see? So it's about knowing you and knowing what you can do and what you can't do. Truth be told, I think most people should abstain from anything. I don't think most people are equipped to do anything. And this includes even being on Facebook or YouTube too much. You see? So essentially, to wrap it up, because this is an important topic, I'm gonna have to do a video on this. Anything that's preventing you from doing what you came here to do, you can look at that as a drug or something that's holding you back. It's simple as that. So if that drug, alcohol, or anything is holding you back, it could be even food choices or relationships. Things are holding you back or preventing you unnecessarily, because we're always going to have obstacles. But if they're preventing you from doing something unnecessarily, then that may not be a good fit for you. Sending love to you, God. You helped me a lot on my path. You have no idea. Peace and love. Hey, yo, peace, peace. Peace and blessings. Peace, fam. Oh, Darwin, peace, bro. He's part of the accelerator program. Actually, you was one of the first people to sign up, but definitely the first dude to sign up. Darwin Kennedy, peace, fam. How do you show reverence to multiple master teachers? Feel like I am a student, but can study with more than one. Excellent question. Once again, that's you knowing who you are. I know you follow Master Gibson. I don't know who else you follow, but that's self-awareness. Me personally, I wouldn't say I follow teachers, but I examples, and I speak about them often. Dr. Gibson and Brother Panic, Tybro.com and occultlectures.com. Two individuals that couldn't be no further difference or whatever. When you look at them, they're totally different, whatever. But resonated with me. I seen myself in both of them. So I was like, I'm not walking in their shoes. I don't want to be like them. But they sparked something within me to help me go deeper within myself. They both have certain keys that help me unlock doors. Reference to them, I'll shout them out. If I'm saying something that I got from them, I'll quote them. That's how you honor your teachers. What they taught, or things you learn from them, you each one teach one. You pass it on. You see, with Dr. Gibson and Brother Panic, you hear Dr. Gibson talking about Ma, the female master teacher that he had the pleasure to or had a chance to sit with in India. He called her Ma. And you hear Brother Panic always paying homage to Bobby Hemmett. You pay homage to them, you pay respect to them. But here's the thing, and this is something you'll never see me do, and a master student never does this, is you never show up your master teacher or someone you consider your master teacher, you never show them up. You never talk bad about them. That's 48 laws of power. Law number one, I believe, is you never show up your master teacher or whatever. You know, so that's another way you can honor them as well. Okay, how does one work on making sure their ego is in check when attempting to open up intuition, chakra crystals, or overall spiritualism? I hate to say this, but that psychic development masterclass, the first part was talking about how to get over your ego. When you notice with intuition, it seems like you're making it up. It's like, I know y'all feel me, when you're really working your intuition and you're getting these intuitive thoughts, it feels like you're making it up. Then you don't know if that's your ego speaking or is that your spirit speaking. Pardon me. So in that masterclass, I taught how to discern between your ego and your spirit. But it's as simple as you really have to know how your thought process works. A lot of hours of meditation. If you don't like the word meditation, then it takes a lot of hours of hearing your thoughts without any external stimuli, without the music playing, without the TV playing. Just you knowing how your thoughts work. Thoughts work. So when I have intuitive thoughts, that I know that is out of rhythm or it's not part of my normal thought process. Talking to people and I get these flashes of thoughts that has nothing to do with me or nothing to do with our conversation, then I know that's an intuitive thoughts. And 9.5 times out of 10, once I articulate the thought I got, the person I'm speaking with be like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Or yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking or whatever. It takes work. It takes a lot of work, but my masterclass psychic development that you can purchase a recording, sleMyers.com, click on shop. That lays out how to discern between ego and spirit beautifully. Okay, I just arrived here. So far, I'm glad he's talking about this subject. I consider myself Christian, which means I consider Jesus my savior. Since my divorce 2 years ago, I have reevaluated beliefs. I'm a rare spiritual teacher, quote unquote, because I don't care what religion you believe in. You know, I've had students who believed in Jesus. I truly, honestly do not care because here's the plus degree. If you're resonating with me, any information I'm disseminating, then you're not quote unquote just a Christian. You're not quote unquote just a Muslim style spiritualist than what you think. Because the people that usually resonate with me don't really fall under one set system. Now, you might be an exception. There may be exceptions that's listening and watching. But for the most part, I resonate with people who are more open-minded and who are freestyle spiritualists. Not saying Christians are open-minded, but anybody who is attached to one single ideal, they're usually married to that and they're closed off to other things. That's why there's a new breed of Christians now, if you would, that they're more spiritual than religious. They'll call themselves Christians, but they'll be like, mom's more spiritual than religious, or a freestyle spiritualist than a Christian, in my opinion. These labels are very limiting. That's why I do my best to be careful with these labels. Activated my altar, just got a significant pay raise. Son got full scholarship offer, nothing but blessings pouring in. Take the class, it is well worth the investment. Not me. My life path is 5 to be continued. Ali, he offers some meditation tips. I would say go back into my meditation videos. I got an article on SLEMyers.com talking about 33 meditation tips. I got a video how to meditate for beginners. I got a video easy ways to increase intuition. So I would say go to my videos and articles. Spiritual, because I don't fit in one specific. Importance, if any, in aligning chakras. Your chakras are aligned anyway. I think what you're asking is how important it is for all your chakras to be open. It's highly important. But I'm gonna have to do video or masterclass on that, because from way people are taught about chakras, they make it very mystical and esoteric, and it doesn't seem relevant. Chakras are more relevant than they are esoteric and highly spiritual and highfalutin or whatever. So, I mean, it's important because when you're meditating or when you're receiving information, it's usually coming through one of your chakras, because your chakras are connected to emotions, to thoughts. Once again, it's in a selling point, but I went over the chakras in that psychic development because it's an important aspect when you're dealing with intuition, the spiritual work in general. So I would say, yes, it's important, probably not the way most people are going to teach it. That's what Ali teaches about. But thank you, Danielle, sweetheart. Spiritual path for targeted individuals. I don't know what targeted individuals mean. Several times with him. Yep, I bet a lot of people have. I'm celibate now. That's a choice. I honestly don't see anything wrong with celibacy. I don't see nothing wrong with someone being what I call a divine whore. Me sleep around with a bunch of people. It's really truly knowing who you are, knowing what you're about. I'll tell you this: there's certain people that are married and they're not getting pleased, or they have more sexual desires than their wife or husband. Like, is that person bad? You know what I mean? Like, it's just we in our society we have labeled so many things taboo, man. Sexual healing, and when I say a divine whore, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying there's females who really feel like and actually do healing through sexuality. Same with men. There's a subject called Tantra, where there's tantric masters. And Tantra is not just sex, but sex can be a part of Tantra. About knowing who you are, man. I cannot stress that enough. A whore to one person is not a whore, but a healer or a savior. Someone who's celibate could be celibate and holding on to sexual energy to the point where they're not creative and doing other things, because sex and creativity are the same energy. You talk chakras, chakra that deals with creativity, and it also deals with sex or whatever. It's the same thing. You can give birth to a painting, or you can give birth to a baby. What made you pregnant? You know what I'm saying? Was sex. An ideal being impregnated into you is a form of sex. When you produce the ideal or create something, that's like giving birth. Sometimes if you're celibate and you have a lot of creative juices and energy that you're not letting out, it can have an adverse effect. And some people can be celibate and recharge their batteries. This is all about knowing who you are, knowing where your system is or where your cycle is. Because some cycles you may feel like you need more sex, or you may need more creativity, or you may need to meditate more. Where you have other cycles where you feel like you may need to teach more, or you may feel like you need to talk to people more, or you may want to be around people more. We go through different cycles as well. So there's a lot of things going on. And there's systems, astrology, numerology are a couple good ones. But the best systems you can have is high levels of self-awareness. When you should chill, when you should act, when you should do, when you shouldn't, when you should give, when you should receive. You'll know all these things you're in. All right, remember to hit the thumbs up if this information resonated with you. I've been making sure to say that on these videos. So I want to make sure YouTube knows that this information is valuable. That's what I love about Ali and Mitty that are in this group, all very accepting, wants you to do what's right for you. I'm the most accepting person I know, man. I'm most non-judgmental. Even though if you don't know me about people, you know what I'm saying? But those who know me know I can care less what other people do. You know what I mean? I know it's going to come off a certain way, but if you truly know me, I'm very non-judgmental, very accepting. I accept all races, sexual orientation, gender. I don't care about that stuff, man. I really don't. I think we've all experimented. And praying to angels, or do you only pray to your ancestors? Also, can we pray to extraterrestrials for help? For one thing, when I say the words prayer, I'm just talking about words spoken. When I say pray, I'm just talking about words spoken. I know certain people have certain thoughts, like you shouldn't pray. If you don't think you should pray or speak to different things, then don't do it. But when I say pray, I'm just talking about speaking to other beings. So yes, you can pray or speak to deities. Yes, you can pray or speak to ancestors. Yes, you can pray or speak to angels. Yes, you can pray or speak to extraterrestrials. State who it's for, and then say whatever you have to say. Altar definitely works best for speaking to them as well. You think about people who charge lots of money to activate chakras. As long as they're performing what they say they perform, then I don't have no problems with it. I'm very liberal, totally committed to free will, where I believe a person, a teacher can charge or they cannot charge. Consultation service where you charge $500 a half hour, or you can set up a consultation where you charge nothing. So my opinion is, my number one opinion is, and delivers what they guarantee, then I personally don't have a problem with anything. Now, would I pay someone an abundant amount of money to clear my chakras? Hell to the no. Would I pay someone a bunch of money to do most of these things that people pay for? Probably not. You know, but that's my personal choice. Else if they do. Oh, you don't have to apologize for being late. Yes, I'm very guarded who I lay with now. I don't do care. It takes me too a long time. How do you purge past partners? Yes, how do you purge past partners? Like I said, you commitment to not be committed. One of the things that people do when they separate from when they separate from a boyfriend or girlfriend is they still go through these wishy-washy, should I not be with this person or should I be with this person? The first way to sever ties is by totally disconnecting. If you want to remain friends, that's fine. But to say that you want to if be with a person, but still be with a person, is my point. So if you're still with them, shape or form, you're still continuing a relationship with them. So how do you purge past partners? How do you get past partners? You really have to make a commitment to disconnect from that person. Like I said, if they want to remain a friend, or friends. But if you're still exchanging fluids with them through sex, and you still kissing them, still daydreaming about them, still fantasizing about them, then you're continuing a relationship with them. So they're going to have, it can have benefits and it can have adverse effects. That's a whole nother story in itself. Relationships actually benefit you as a soul. Some relationships drain you as a soul. And we've all had relationships where you feel like you're expanding and have a relationship where you feel like you're not expanding. All right, glad that makes sense. And what can and cannot go in a woman's yoni? I'm not a woman. I can't tell a woman what to put in her yoni. I know there's toys nowadays. You can masturbate. Again, don't think there's a negative. You shouldn't do that. If you're masturbating or putting toys in your yoni, as you put it, like all the time, and it's sore and dry and stuff, then that's probably having an adverse effect. Intention. I'm not one of those people where if you don't have a sexual partner, then you need to save it and hold it. Like, save what? What are you saving? Once again, that's a choice. But if you feel like because I don't have a sexual partner, I don't need to masturbate, I don't need to stick. I mean, mate, I personally don't see that is something that's going to prevent you from advancing on the path. There's a thing with sexual energy that, let me get a little bit more deep in the esoteric. Whenever you have an abundance of sexual energy, you become very bright in the spirit world. Sexual energy is very creative, it's very powerful. So if you're holding on a lot to that, what you hear people call about the syncubus and succubus and all these things, there's beings, spiritual beings that prey on people with a lot of sexual energy. And they start to take that energy, usually in dreams or whatever. So if you're waking up with scratches or you feel drained or your vagina feels sore or you feel some sort of like something enter you, experience something sucking up your sexual energy or whatever. So you got to put something in you. If you got to do whatever you got to do to make sure that sexual energy is moving, boo, get it in. How do you figure out your life path level? I don't understand that question. I think you mean, how do you figure out your life path? We'll answer that is just follow your heart. I have some information I'm about to drop about finding your purpose or whatever and stuff like that. Because a lot of people think your life purpose, some grandiose thing or something like that, man. It's real simple. Your life purpose is now. So the simple answer is, what is most pressing on your heart? That's going to lead you to your path. Sounds very simple, but I'm telling you, you overthink it because it's supposed to look a certain way, or it's supposed to be like this, or whatever. No, it's truly what is on your heart. What are you doing? And here's the plus degree. Let me put your God goggles on. It may not be always the right thing. It may be something that seemingly may hurt you temporarily, but through that temporary hurt, you might find great strength. So once again, it's all about knowing who you are, accepting who you are, acknowledging who you are, and being you as much as possible, being authentically you. The sensory offer what? Peace, peace, AO. Okay, targeted individuals in that regard. I would say you definitely want to hit some spiritual protection, yo. If you got surveillance, for one thing, everyone's under surveillance. I'm on YouTube. You got cameras on your phone, you got cameras everywhere, yo. If you don't think you're not under surveillance, you might be living in a different time zone. You know what I'm saying? We're all under surveillance. So I would say just have a good spiritual dream team, yo. That's where the altar comes in again. A lot of altar information, got the book Deity Linkage Manual. I would say get your spiritual dream team intact. One of the things I do to program my altar is to protect myself, protect my family, protect our home, protect things. Program your altar. So that's the simple answer I would tell you. Just up your spiritual protection. You want spiritual entities on your side. You want spiritual entities on your side. The easiest way to do that is via an altar, man. That's the easiest way to do it that I know of. Hit the like button. Thank you, AO. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more question. Thank you, Chris. Ali, ultra accepting, yo. Y'all, I mean, you don't even know. You don't even know. What do I think about the workforce working 9 to 5? I think the 9 to 5 workforce for most people is not the right path. People. For some of you, you're very happy at your job and you love it. Every day you feel drained and you feel like you should be doing something else. It doesn't matter what I think. You're telling yourself what you think. But once again, because you have a desire to pay your bills, because you want to make sure your house is paid for, because you want to buy things and stuff like that, usually people succumb to things they do not want to do. I spend literally a third of your day somewhere you don't want to be. Most people go to work 8 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. 8 of those you might be asleep. So essentially, you're spending half of your day at work. Once again, if that's where you are, then that's where you need to be. But I'm talking to people who don't want to do that. Thing for you, my recommendation for you, and this is what I did, because I've only been totally self-employed for a little over a year now. I've taught spirituality, metaphysics, and the occult while having a full-time job, driving a semi-truck. So I know what I'm talking about for sure. And what I did was I worked outside of the 5 job. So I started putting websites together. I started doing my YouTube videos, started Mind Right Radio. I was doing things outside of my job. I started to make money outside of my job. Eventually, I started feeling like when I went to work that I'm limiting myself because I'm making way more money outside of work, 9 to 5 job. So there's levels to it. The first level, if you're not happy with your job, you need to start doing something outside of your job. Then once you're outside of your job starts to get head to head, then you can decide, do I need to downgrade my lifestyle? You know, these are things I've done. I've downgraded. You know what I'm saying? I've done things in order so I wouldn't have to work. So those are choices. Most people aren't willing to downgrade. You know what I mean? That's reality. Okay. All right. Okay, y'all. All right. Remember, y'all, Masterclass, SLEMyers.com. Masterclass, join that. It's only 99 slots available. I made it highly affordable. Altar Magic, I will teach you everything that I've done to get my altar point. Most people know I'm an authority on altars. So I haven't released all my information, all the things I've done, because I'm a scientist. Things I experiment, I show other people, not in public. You know what I'm saying? Talk about other things, teach people to, not in classes, that it's not just me. You know, the stuff that I teach, it works for anybody who puts it in. You know, so altar magic, I'm gonna teach you how to put in magic through the altar. So that resonates with you, definitely hop on board for that. You also get a recording. If you can't make it, you get a free recording. You can download, watch, and do all that good stuff. Oh, I don't know if you can. Actually, I think you can download it for sure, for forever, 24/7. It's yours. Also, the Accelerator. That's my new spiritual mastery program. If you're a freestyle spiritualist, or if you're a person that really want to be your own guru, your own master, you're on a path of mastery, you want to become more empowered, that's the program you want to look into. Also, with everyone in that program, you receive the archives of all the master classes. So whenever you join, and I suggest that you join as soon as possible, because you lock in a low monthly investment. And with that, you receive all the benefits. And I add another feature based on all the love and the spirit told me to do it. Masterclass recordings are also available for members in the Accelerator program. That too often, because I don't want people joining it just for that, you know. So definitely SLEMyers.com. Remember too, there'll be a summary on the website. Just click on free content. Just click on thank you, Mina. She's signing up for the Accelerator right now. Last time I did one of these videos, I had a few people sign up and stuff. So definitely, it shows me that the energy is right. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. You want to be a part of this. Into it, but if something's in your spirit, you want to be a part of this. There's something special. People doing things similar to this. Being the first one. Okay. I can tell you are doing you, love. You already know. Oh, and also too, I don't know why that last live stream, man, I look like I was 50 pounds lighter, yo. I don't know if it's a camera or something, but I promise I'm like, shoot, I'm about 240 right now. That joint had me looking like 170. Didn't look all crazy. All right, but that's it, y'all. Remember, like button, SLEMyers.com. Until next time, peace, y'all. One.